Welcome to another episode of it's usually called Juicing with Doriel, but right now we're going to be doing some food prep. This is my sister Max. Say hi, Max.
Hi.
Yay! And we're going to be making fried oyster mushrooms. So let's just show you our prep. We have our oyster mushrooms that are right here, and they have this is about like I guess 8 ounces, about 8 ounces of oyster mushrooms. You can get them at like I will just say fancy grocery stores, and about 2 packages. Which if you look, it's like sort of 2 handfuls, and then just pull them apart. And like if you want to just wipe with a dry towel and take dirt off. I said no, we're not doing that out in these streets. So I actually soaked them and then used a towel because it's a lot of water. Because on the underside, if you don't know oyster mushrooms, they have all of these ridges, which keeps a lot of water. So I used a towel in order to dry them. And then we have a mise en place, which is what?
This was sea salt.
Sea salt.
And this is cayenne pepper.
All right, we're going to do it while we're doing it. Yep, cayenne pepper.
So, let's get it all. And turmeric.
Turmeric,
And this is all-purpose seasoning. Garlic powder. And smoked paprika.
All right. So we have 2 bowls. We're mixing all of the dry ingredients into the flour. Once we do that, we're going to take a third of this and we're going to put it and make the dry batter. And then this is going to be the wet batter. So we'll be right back. So now we're taking a third of the mixed ingredients. Again, all of the seasonings that we put into the flour. Mixed it. We're taking about a third of it out. We're putting it into a separate bowl. That will be our dry dredging or dry covering.
This is going to be the wet. This is the dry. This is the wet.
There we go. Sorry.
With a 3/4 cup of
water.
Room temperature.
Room temperature.
And we're going to mix it. And we'll be right back.
And now it is time to do our dredging. We're taking the oyster mushroom and we're going to dip into the wet batter, front and back, get it all nice and covered.
Got it all dredged.
Got it all dredged, and then we're going to dip it into the dry, flip, and dip, and cover. And I will say this from the outset, your fingers will get sticky and gummy.
So one should be for the wet, and the other one should be for the dry.
Correct.
Is this completely
Yep,
covered?
that's good. And then we're going to lay it here on our pan so that we can take it right to the oil at one time.
Okay, so they only need to see me do a few.
And if you've done other food prep with other edibles, we won't say what, you know what this process is like. So we'll show you one more. Got the wet dredge, the dry dredge. And for the record, it tastes just like fried oyster mushrooms. And then we'll head over to the oil. So what you might see is once you're covering them with the wet batter and then the dry batter, if you let it sit out for a moment, you'll start to see that the water from the wet batter is soaking up the flour. And so it'll look like you have to sort of reapply, but you don't necessarily have to. So here it is. We have our, was this the vegetable oil. And of course, there we go. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. He's going to lay it in, of course, very, very carefully, very gently, very carefully. And you'll know if you've done any food prep like this, it literally will only take about 2 minutes or so, maybe 3 minutes max per side. Once you see the edges get brown and sort of crispy, then you want to get your tongs and you want to flip it, and then of course we have our our basket nearby, and actually this has to be turned
now.
Yep. Look at that. What look at that. Look at those beautiful fans. Oh my gosh. And see, that literally took like less than a minute, right? And you want it to be this sort of golden color. So that was probably less than a minute on the first side. You want to give it about the same minute or so on the second side, and then be ready to take it out.
Is that good?
Now, that's like 20 seconds.
A little more.
That is so fantastic. All right, let's go.
Is that good?
Yeah. And we're gonna let them rest.
And on to the next.
So here's our second batch. We have the first batch here. We have the second batch here. You might see a slight coloration. I left it in for like another maybe 30 seconds on each side. Here's our third and last batch, and you see how the flour mixture is coming off in the oil. So I was just saying that after this set, we would probably have to, of course, either clean the oil or, definitely at least add more oil because the flour is setting to the bottom.
And these are the ones that's been double dipped.
So so you can do like a single wet and then a dry. This set that we have in here now have been double dipped. So that means it went from wet to dry and then back to wet and back to dry. If you're going to do that, of course, you're going to have to add the amount of flour that you see. You basically have to do like twice the amount so you can have that double dip effect. So if you feel like you need that sort of fried, spicy, chewy bite or nibble, then this is a way to have that, and that is with fried oyster mushrooms. We're gonna get this to plate and get our nibble and sip on. See you in a moment. Okay, so here's our double dip coming out, and those of you who have lived in other worlds, y'all will understand what we're talking about. So the single dip of wet to dry looks like XXX, the original recipe. Y'all figure out what XXX is. And then the double dip.
The Colonel.
If you look closely, I'm going to try to get right in. If you see, it looks just like a little crunchier. So we're figuring out that it may have a crunchier texture.
Can't wait.
We're about done. We have our dressings or our dipping sauces all ready. I will explain that. Do that quick. Good. Yeah, that definitely has a crunchier covering. Yeah. All right, this is what we got. Voila. And here we go. Here's our fried oyster mushrooms. We're having it on a bed of mixed greens with little cucumbers, avocado, grape tomatoes. We've made our own dressing. And what do we make the dressing out of again?
Sriracha and vegan.
Sriracha, vegan mayo. And that was it, and a little
And a
bit
little
of
honey.
honey just to sort of cut the sriracha. So now we're going to see us take a bite. And now we're gonna taste. All right, you take one.
Okay.
No, I forgot which one was which this time.
The one underneath is the double dip.
Okay, got it. So here's the single dip. So that means it was dredged at first in the single,
And I have the double dip.
and you have the double. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Go.
You could not tell me
That it's not the other thing.
that this was
Oh my
mushroom.
gosh!
Mm.
This is very delectable. Wait, where's the dressing? We don't. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we forgot the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
What? This is phenomenal. Hold on, I'll do this.
We have been fasting for most of the day.
The day,
So
right?
this is definitely.
Mm.
Sorry. I'm just going to do it
Go ahead.
because I can.
It's our business.
Mm.
You know who says that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
That's how we do.
So the underneath is the double one. Got it. So the double one, it definitely has a crunchier look. Sorry, a crunchier look.
Mm.
So let's do the dip. Let's see. It holds the okay. Oh snap! Oh my gosh!
Oh, yes. And then, just so you can see the texture
Right on the inside.
on the inside.
Right. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Look at that.
Mm-mm.
You know what that looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But this is healthier.
That's right. And that's how we do.
Fried oyster mushrooms.
Hey.
So now if you want the recipe, you're going to have to like say, I want the recipe. But Max and I are out. We're going to finish. We are going to eat the salad at some point. But after we eat a couple more of these. So peace and blessings. It's a Learn to Grow Your Mom where I plant seeds help you grow. And it's also a Seeds of Your Money moment where I want you to eat to live and drink to live. Don't live to eat and don't live to drink, but let your food be your medicine. Pay attention to every single thing that you nibble and sip, okay? Inspire somebody else to do the same. Interact with your food because your food interacts with you. Invest in the best and leave the rest alone. And pay attention to what you do. Pay attention to the impact and live accordingly. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.